what's up? This is Patrick. Welcome to episode 35 of the Double ETF podcast, Everything Except the Football. I hope you guys are doing great. Today, this is part 2 of my conversation with Lisa Solak. Again, good times were had by all, and I hope you will enjoy this as well. And there is a little twist at the end that I'm sure will make you very happy. If you guys want to reach us, you can do so at EETFpod on Twitter or drop us a line at eetfpodcast@gmail.com. You can also leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you want to contribute in a different way and join the awesome club, that would be awesome. And so would you be. You can join Carly, Kevin, Josh, Nick, M-Bags, Carly again, Hector, Tom Newberg, Tony Greathouse, RJ, Woody, Mike Drew, and now Lisa, now friend of the show and member of the Awesome Club. So welcome, Lisa. Yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoy part 2 of my conversation with Lisa Solak, and we will talk again soon. Thanks. All right, so welcome back to part 2 of my conversation with Lisa Solak. Welcome back, Lisa.
Hello.
Are you good for part 2?
Always.
The quick and quickie questions. Awesome. So let's begin. Actually, new year, new list of questions. I trimmed it a little bit, but it is essentially the same.
Okay.
If there are any surprises, they will be small and not unpleasant, hopefully. All right. So question 1. Would you rather speak all languages or play all musical instruments?
I would rather play all musical instruments.
Okay.
Because I could entertain myself then if I was alone. Or others if needed to.
Yeah, true. But you could read a book in its original version if you're a big reader.
Okay.
Okay.
There are so many translations out now. Thank you to translators, by the way.
Yes.
And as I've said before, I love music so much. I think if I could be able to create it, I would be so happy if I could do that.
Well, that's a good aspect. And translations are like cover songs. You know, some are really bad, and every now and then some are better than the original, but it's super rare. So yeah.
I read Norwegian literature translated.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll be reading it and I'll be like, oh, what are they trying to say here? Boy, they screwed this up.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. For sure.
Have to use a lot of context.
Yes. Yeah. Jesus. I would have some anecdotes related to work, but it will be my turn to say, let's just move on. All right. So next question. If you could get a ticket to any show or event, music or sports, what would you want a ticket to?
Super Bowl.
Which one? The Bears?
Oh,
against
the Bears,
the
definitely.
Patriots? Yes.
Bears, Patriots. Now, in general, it would be the Super Bowl. If we are going back in time for any music or sports event in history in the past, then I would say Live Aid.
Yeah.
Live Aid for music, Super Bowl for sports.
Sounds good. What about any event in history? Like, would you have liked to be at the, Gettysburg Address or whatever,
Oh, wow. I really would like to see how they got Stonehenge the way they did.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Okay. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, Stonehenge, baby.
All the way. All the way. Next question. What is your favorite insect?
They go by a lot of different names. So I'll go by the common name that I grew up with, but that's the pill bug. A lot of people call them roly-polies.
Yeah, that's the same answer that Tom Newberg gave.
Oh, love pill bugs.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my sister and I had a pill bug farm, and we used to find them, and we used to play with them, and we'd keep them for a couple days, and then we'd let them go. But I loved them because they didn't bite you. They did something cool, and they'd crawl on you, and it'd feel sort of cool. And they're an insect you don't have to be afraid of. And they just do, and they're aerodynamically awesome. So they're an engineering marvel with the little hinged, they're just great. Pill bug, definitely.
Excellent answer. And I think actually Now that I remember when Tom, I think he mentioned it after his episode, and I think he replied to him with a picture of a pill bug. I think.
Probably.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Maybe I'm misremembering, but yeah,
That wouldn't surprise me.
that's a popular answer. Awesome. Next question: what scene from a movie scarred you for life?
The scene from Sophie's Choice. The scene, the choice itself.
Okay, you can call me Philistine, but I've never seen that movie. I know of it. I know what happens, but I've never seen it.
I saw it on cable, much too young, and in the quiet recesses of my mind when I'm about to go to sleep or something, it'll pop up.
Oh.
And especially for a child, it's scary. And now that I'm a mother, it's even more so. The movie was already rough, but the scene, holy crap, man. It lives in my head rent free.
Okay. And unrelated, but do we say Philistine or Philistine?
I don't know. I'll say Philistine.
Okay.
I like that better.
All right. Awesome. Okay, next question. What is the best nickname you've ever heard?
So I'm going to go back to sports again.
Sure.
My parents liked watching boxing, and they had a boxing poster in our basement of Leon Spinks and Muhammad Ali. And they called Leon Neon Leon. And I remember when I was a kid looking at that poster thinking there is nothing neon about that guy because he used to scare me to death because Muhammad Ali was a pretty good looking guy. And Leon Spinks, would he have like no teeth or one tooth in his whole head from fighting? And I was just like, what the hell just because it rhymes, and it stuck with me. It's just like, that is the most wild nickname for a boxer. What does neon have to do with
Yeah, good question.
It was crazy. I liked all the boxing types of nicknames. What was it? Pretty Boy Floyd, and
Yes.
I got a kick out of the boxing nicknames when I was a kid.
I think my favorite would be, again, in sports, I think it was the New York Jets defensive line, the New York Sack Exchange.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Steelers, you had the Iron Curtain.
Yes. I think the NFL had to be right up there when it came to nicknames.
Yeah, they were good.
Teams or units.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. Boxing has to be on the list as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good shout.
Definitely.
All right, so next one. What would you name your boat if you had one?
Miss T-Bone.
How would you spell that?
Miss, M-I-S-S.
Okay.
Then T dash bone, because it would be a mistake to own one.
Ah, okay. That works. Okay, so Miss T-Bone. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure if you meant Misty Bone. But, okay, that's odd.
that sounds like a porn.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Why not? Who knows what happens on the boat, All right. Okay, so next question. Where is the worst smelling place you've ever been in?
A 100-plus-year-old outhouse in the mountains of Pennsylvania.
Ooh. Okay.
Let me tell you.
Some history in there.
That's a smell you cannot recreate and one you don't want to.
She said, okay.
Yeah.
It was like on a camping trip or something?
My dad's family was from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
When I was younger, our family reunions were on the top of this mountain that was part of like an old family tract for years and years and years and years. And you'd go up there and there's one bathroom, and it's this double-holer outhouse.
Okay.
And so I'm going to say, man, let your imagination run wild. But holy crap.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, that lives in my head rent-free,
Rent-free.
right next to Sophie's Choice.
Okay.
Sophie's Choice and the two-hole shitter in the mountains.
Wow. That's next level.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. So, next question. When did you screw everything up, but no one ever found out it was you? We might know the answer to that one.
Well, one is putting a thumbprint into a artifact.
Yes.
And two, also work-related. We used to do traveling exhibits all the time. Little timelines of Motorola history or telecommunications history. And there were different phones used in Europe than in the US,
Yes.
obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I did an exhibit, and I think it was for Germany. It went to Germany and then France, and then I think looped back around. And I sent off a phone along with some other things. And maybe 3 days afterwards, I was going through my papers, and I look over, and there's the phone that I was going to send. It was the European CDMA phone.
Mm-hmm.
I sent the wrong phone.
Whoa.
And the phone actually had a label on it for Ameritech,
Okay.
which, especially in the early 80s, because this was a brick phone. This was the early brick phones. Especially in the early 80s, Ameritech definitely was not in Europe. And I think I had a flop sweat going on until I was waiting for the phone call, because I had it packed up and I was going to overnight it when they called me and say, "Hey, idiot, you sent us the wrong phone." They never called me.
Wow.
And it came back and everyone's like, "It was a great exhibit. Thank you." Blah, blah. And I'm just like,
Dodge the bullet.
so they read the label, but they never looked at the phone close enough to realize it was the wrong one. Because, I mean, I guess to the untrained eye, a brick is a brick is a brick. But I was certain someone was going to lean in and say, "Ameritech, what the hell is this?"
Yeah.
So it was a tense few days.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. Okay, so next question. Okay, so that's a new one. If you were going to write a book, what would it be about?
The Misadventures of a Teen Gen Xer.
That's a great title. Excellent. Yeah, I love it. Next question. If you were given a 1-minute ad slot during the Super Bowl, you cannot sell it, you have to use it. What would you fill it with?
Boy. Probably me attempting to do cartwheels. Anything for a laugh, right?
Sure. It's your minute. You do what you want with it.
There you go. Probably stock footage of pill bugs.
Perfect. All right. So are you good for overtime?
Sure. Bring it on.
It is a little shorter than the previous versions. Here we go. 10 questions as well. You are going back in time and wind up face to face with 15-year-old you. You have 10 seconds before you travel back to the present day. What do you tell your younger self?
I would tell myself that you are going to meet Peter Murphy several times.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I loved him. He was probably my biggest celebrity crush. And I think if someone came back and told me that I would be able to meet him and actually hug him and talk to him, I would have been thrilled. It would have saved a lot of sleepless teen angsty nights crying into my pillow that I was never going to meet my favorite artist, believe me.
So that's actually the Tim McGraw story is absolutely excellent, but I would have thought that would be your favorite brush with fame.
Well, he's famous to me, but if I tell your average person about a Peter Murphy story, they'd be like, meh.
Well, I mean, we are all, music maniacs.
yeah.
So yeah, we are,
Yeah.
biased. But no, yeah, that's a fair point, I guess.
Yeah.
Or let's say 1A, 1B. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so next question. If you could live in anyone's head for 15 minutes, a la being John Malkovich, who would you choose?
I would love to live in the head of someone who is truly creative, especially musically.
Mm-hmm.
Someone like Paul McCartney or even Bruce Springsteen or something like that, because they have to think in such a different way than average people do. And I would love to know what's going on in their head, because they're not trying to remember a grocery list like I am, you know? So I would have to say, and you know what? I've talked enough about Paul McCartney, so I'm going to say I'd like to be in Bruce Springsteen's head for 15 minutes.
All right.
And maybe I'd get, Barack Obama's phone number out of that, since they're friends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a strategic thinking.
Yeah.
I like that. And that reminds me, the way you're describing it, I'm not sure what my answer would be, but I think someone maybe like Picasso,
Mm-hmm.
that has to be a trip. Or Dali, that has to be...
Yeah, artists like that, or even Etcher.
Oh, God.
How do they see the world? It has to be like looking through a whole new pair of eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Okay, so yeah, we have a few great answers lined up for you right there. So awesome. Okay, next question. What is the best compliment you've ever received?
A lot of people have told me they like my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If I post a picture, that's the first thing they say. And it makes me feel good because I don't have to do anything about it. People say I'm funny, but I feel like I have to work at that.
Okay.
But my eyes, I just have to look at people and they're like, oh, your eyes are so pretty. So I like that one better because it's something I was born with.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting point of view. And that's true, by the way.
Thanks.
I'm not like kissing your ass or anything. It's true.
Thank you.
All right, so next question. What is your hometown best known for?
Well, my hometown where I grew up in was Schaumburg. That's Schaumburg, Illinois.
Okay.
And
small place?
No, it's a pretty good size. It's pretty sizable outside of Chicago.
Okay.
It's part of it's about 25 miles outside of Chicago.
Okay.
And that is where Motorola was, and that is the birthplace of the cellular phone, the cellular handset.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Dynatac was the first two-way cellular phone, handheld cellular device.
So what year was that?
That was 1984 is when it was commercially available.
Okay. Okay, yeah, good shout.
And people don't realize that, but yeah, Schaumburg's the home of modern telecommunications.
That's pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah. Because the only other thing is Robert Downey Jr.'s wife graduated a year after me. She went to Schaumburg. Oh, whoop-de-doo, right? Okay. So I'm going with the birthplace of cellular technology. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You got your number one right there. And the number two, you have to, look down below.
Yeah.
Because, no debate there. All right. So next question. Name me 3 items on your bucket list.
I really want to go to Europe.
It will be possible soon. Hopefully.
And I'm hoping I can get at least to Norway because I am mainly Norwegian. So I definitely want to go to Norway. Definitely want to go to the United Kingdom, especially Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go to Norway, I want to go all the way up. I want to cross the Arctic Circle. We did a 23andMe ancestry thing.
Okay.
And we are, for Norway, a lot of Sami is in us. And that's the indigenous people of Norway.
Okay.
And they are the reindeer, the reindeer people, as they're called, all the way up. And I want to do that. I want to at least get up there, be like, this is where it all started. Okay.
Because I forgot to ask at the beginning. Actually, I wasn't sure your last name, if it was Norwegian or Central Europe.
My last name is Polish. My husband is 100% Polish.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Like I was guessing maybe Czech Republic or something. So okay, okay, Polish.
Yeah, Polish.
Okay,
It means salt miner.
huh? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
There is a pretty amazing salt mine near Krakow.
That's where they're from, that area.
Ah, okay. There you go.
I was
Awesome.
going to say, just outside of Krakow.
Oh, awesome. Fantastic. And so your maiden name, is it Norwegian?
No, it is. My mother was Norwegian. My father's family has been here since the Revolutionary War, but they came through Scotland.
Ah, okay.
So it's been bastardized and Americanized, my maiden name, which I'm not going to reveal for privacy reasons.
No,
but
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious, because when we had Andy Solom earlier on the podcast, his last name is Norwegian.
Oh.
So I don't know, like maybe was there a connection somehow or something? So okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Cool.
To reach out to him, be like, hey, fellow Norsky.
There you go.
There you go.
No, yeah, I hope you can go to Norway. That's I've never been, but it's on my list as well.
Yeah. Everybody I've known who's gone says it is so expensive. They eat their dinners at convenience stores like 7-Elevens and eat like roller hot dogs because even McDonald's costs $50 to eat there. So
yeah, that's what I expect, but I won't care.
Yeah, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I still have family, distant cousins that live there that I can probably try to hook in with to at least get a meal or two or a couch to surf on.
Do you know where they are in the country?
Yeah.
Oslo or?
South of Oslo in Fredrikstad.
Okay.
It's south of Fredrikstad. It's actually an island. It was a fortress island south of Fredrikstad. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Krokroy.
Okay.
That's where my grandfather's family is from. My grandmother was from Oslo.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Okay. So yeah, 3 items on your bucket list. Travel was one of them. Yeah, we went on a tangent here. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? My bucket list is all pretty much travel. I got hung into travel so much I can't even think of anything else that I would want to do. So
you don't have to.
Yeah. So we'll stick with travel for the big bucket.
Yep. Focus on that. And I heard somewhere, I don't know, maybe I mentioned it on the podcast before, but if you think about it, it's a dream. If you write it down, it's a goal.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
You know, it's just a way of reframing that and make it a priority when this nightmare is over.
Telling me, man.
Oh, God. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, let's keep it happy. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. What is the best insult you've ever heard?
I've heard a lot of them. I've said a lot of them. But I can't think of a specific phrase, but the insults that come out of the United Kingdom are chef's kiss. I mean,
yes.
primo. They insult you without you even knowing it. And then when you realize they insulted you, it is such a deep burn that the British can roast anyone.
Yes. And yet it is...
so polite.
Yeah, and even when they are not polite, it is so like quirky in an impressive way that you're almost not mad. You know,
I would love. I can be insulted by a Brit and probably
enjoy it.
Walk away with a smile. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
I agree completely. Next question: if you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, language not an issue, who would it be?
I would say George Washington, Queen Elizabeth, Washington, Queen Elizabeth, and Houdini.
Okay. Houdini.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been fascinated with magic before, or?
Not magic per se, but his story to me is fascinating. I mean, I wouldn't call myself an expert on it, so I couldn't really talk about it. It was beyond magic. It was escapism. It was,
Yes.
smoke and mirrors. Did he really escape? Did he didn't? Was it trickery? Was it? He just seemed like the type of person I would like to talk to because the man's seen some things.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, honestly, I don't know that much about it. I know escapism and some magic, and I know he died in a strange way as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But unfortunately, that's pretty much all I know.
Yeah, yeah. He also had a deep distrust of psychics.
Ah, okay.
And rumor has it that I might get this wrong. I don't know if it was wife or it was a friend, but he told somebody a secret word. And he said, if I am able to communicate with you after I died,
Mm-hmm.
and you go to a seance, I will say the secret word. And if somebody says, Harry Houdini showed up and he told us this, then you know it's real. It's like he'd set up a trap.
Yeah.
And obviously no one ever said the secret word, apparently. So I think that's pretty, just really want to get into that guy's head.
Nice touch. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And what would be on the menu?
I don't know. Let's go. Let's have a seafood feast.
Good answer.
Lobster tails, crab. Let's go crustacean and hope to God Washington or Houdini doesn't have a seafood or shellfish allergy.
If I remember, didn't the Queen forbid certain items on the menu at Buckingham Palace or something?
Well, we wouldn't be
Wherever she
eating
lives?
there. She's gonna be eating in America.
Okay.
If it's my little fantasy, she's coming here. She's gonna eat what I serve her and she'll like it.
Okay. I think it was garlic.
I could see that. Probably stuff that would get stuck in your teeth or make you smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all
That-
decorum.
That would be a logical answer, but anyway, yep. Moving on. Next question. What is the biggest surprise you've had over the last few months?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's hard to move away from COVID,
The
right?
biggest surprise is that we're surging again. That's the biggest damn surprise. But
yeah, it's a shitty surprise, but
yeah,
I guess it is, and it shouldn't be, because like everything happens in Europe a few weeks before it gets here, and we should have seen it coming.
Yeah.
And somehow we sat on our hands.
Well, the smart people didn't, but yeah, people bury their head in the sand. Oh, it's not going to happen to us. Well, surprise. It did.
Yeah.
And that's the surprise that has been.
The shitty surprise. What about a good surprise, a pleasant surprise? There must have been one.
Yeah.
All right.
Getting a message from you saying you wanted to do this.
Oh my God, you're too nice. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. So next question: what keeps you up at night?
Mom worries. Worried about my kids. Worried about just your basic. Is everything gonna be okay?
Yeah, basic low-level anxiety that never goes away, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't have kids, but I get it.
It adds a level of fear to you that is crippling at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me it is.
And it probably doesn't change with age. Well, I mean, it doesn't increase or decrease. It just changes to being worried about other things, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, because when they're babies, it's like you worry if they're going to get hurt or something like that. I mean, my kids are young adults, teenagers and young adults, and it's a whole other set of fears now. It's
Yeah.
crazy. They'll probably continue that way until the day I die, I'm sure.
Like, yeah, worrying about boyfriends and stuff like that.
Yeah, and driving and college.
Are they going already, or will they go soon? Or
My daughter's in high school and my son is in junior college right now.
okay, what are they studying?
That's one of my worries, my friend.
Okay, all right,
They still haven't put their rudder in the water yet.
all right.
And I was the same way. I shouldn't worry. It all works out at the end. So,
Okay, so then the last question of overtime would be: what is your fork in the road moment? What would you consider the pivotal moment of your life?
quitting smoking.
Ah, okay. That's yep, excellent. Is that when did that happen?
1999.
Okay.
I was about a pack and a half a day smoker. Never thought I would quit. Never thought I would quit. Tried to quit a couple times. Never stuck. And my mother got lung cancer and missed a pretty important family event because she was sick from chemo. And I left the event and I was pissed. Not at her, but at smoking. And I threw my cigarettes out the window, threw my lighter out the window, dumped my ashtray out the window as I'm driving, and I never looked back. Didn't have a cigarette since because
Jesus.
I realized you're not going to quit if you still are in love with the thought of it.
Oh yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Yes.
I had to break up with smoking. I had to have enough and kick it out of my life and say, I don't love you anymore. I hate you. You are killing my mother. And I quit. I was done. Never touched it again.
Wow. That's awesome. Had you been smoking for a long time until then?
Probably since high school.
Okay.
So about 15 years.
You know, you do it to look cool, to belong. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's how it starts most of the time.
My parents were both heavy smokers.
Okay.
And I worked in my dad's office. I was his receptionist, and he smoked a lot at work. And I was always surrounded by a cloud. And one day he was out of the office all day because he was a realtor and he had a closing, so he was gone all day. And I was sitting there working, and I started getting a headache. And I couldn't focus, and I had this horrible headache. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? And I looked over at his desk, and he had a pack of cigarettes sitting there. And I never smoked before, a day in my life. And I'm like, I need a cigarette. And I went to his desk, and I lit a cigarette, smoked it like I smoked all my life. You know, usually when people smoke, they choking, they get sick. I lit his cigarette, smoked it, felt great. My headache was gone. And I realized because my parents smoked my whole life, I was addicted to it without ever smoking.
Yep.
And then I was like, huh. So I started smoking to take the edge off when my dad or my mom wasn't around. And then, then you're smoking full on. So
yeah,
it was pretty crazy. And smoking was great at concerts because you can keep people away from you.
Oh, okay.
So
Practical.
it's a real bummer when smoking was outlawed in venues.
Yeah, some people must have had a hard time adjusting for sure.
Yeah.
Jesus. My mom did the same, actually. She stopped smoking cold turkey because I was maybe like 18 months old, and my brother was 2 years and still is 2 years older than I am. And my mom was having her like a, yearly checkup with her doctor, and everything was fine. But the doctor noticed that she was smoking. She was probably smoking in his office, actually, back then. And he said, your children are pretty young to lose their mom. Yeah. Yeah. He dropped a grenade right there and she quit that day.
Wow.
Never looked back. That was, 47 years ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, my sister and I used to beg my parents to stop smoking, but they still did. They were addicted. They were addicted.
Yeah.
My mother had lung surgery and had part of her lung removed. And when she got home from the hospital, she tried to smoke.
Okay.
Didn't succeed. She got really sick, but why would you, that addiction's a hell of a thing, whether it be drugs or cigarettes or,
Yeah.
It was crazy.
All right. So, on this awkward note, that's the end of Overtime. Thank you very much for being here. I had a great time. I hope you did as well.
So did I. It was fun.
Good. Excellent. Where can we find you online?
Probably Twitter's the best place. And that's ALA005 is my handle.
Any reason for that handle?
That was my old ID number at Motorola.
Ah, okay.
When you work for a company for over 20 years, man, it becomes part of your life.
I get that.
It stuck with me, and I used it as my Twitter handle then.
Good shot, because first time I saw that, I was I was wondering, is it like a randomized handle that they give you if you pick something that's already been taken,
No.
Okay, so now we know.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So thank you again, Lisa.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to part 3.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you again on the next one. Thanks.